Hi everyone, welcome to a Floral Friendsgiving with Alice's Table and with me, Laura, your event executive. Alice's Table is a lifestyle business that hosts flower arranging events. I wanted to be part of a business that allows you to come together with your friends and other guests to do something creative. We're all very busy with our businesses, work, kids, homes, our entire lifestyle, so Alice's Tables events are something that allow you to take a break from all of that and just do something fun and easy but yet very fulfilling, and at the end of the event you get to walk away with something very beautiful that you made. Alice's Table allows you and guests to host events at public venues like restaurants or stores, or you can also host a private event for your friends and guests at your home or at a restaurant as well. So if you guys have any questions throughout the night about different types of events, or you're interested in learning more about Alice's Table, please feel free to ask me, or we can talk at the event. I have a lot of information and my card for you. But for right now, let's just get started and have fun. Today we're going to be making the Shelburne Farms arrangement, which I think is perfect because it's a great fall arrangement, and since it's a few days before Thanksgiving, I think the colors are going to look great on your table, or if you bring it as a hostess gift, it's going to look very festive. And the Shelburne Farms arrangement was inspired by Alice's Table from actually Shelburne Farms. Is a place near Burlington, Vermont, that's just this beautiful place with different animals and flowers and greens that overlooks Lake Champlain. So it really represents the feel. If you haven't been there, at least this floral arrangement will give you a sense of what it's like to be there. So we're going to start with our vase. This is going to be a water-based arrangement. And before we fill the vase with any water, we're first going to use our clear Oasis tape. I do know that this is Scotch tape, but I will be using the correct tape for my events. So what we're going to do is create a tic-tac-toe grid. So you're going to place two pieces across one way and secure it. And the reason that we put the tape on before filling the vase is just so you don't have anything, it's not a good piece, wet on the side of the vase, so it allows the tape to stick well. So try to remember that when you're making arrangements at home, to do the tape first before the water. So it's pretty easy. You can see it looks like the tic-tac-toe. And then next, we're going to add water to the vase. So this water has already been treated with our plant food, which is half preservative, half sugar. So the sugar is what allows the plants to eat. It's their food, the flowers, and the preservative obviously helps the flowers last longer. We use warm water because even though on I think all the plant food packages that you get with your flowers say please dissolve in cold water, the plant food does not dissolve in cold water. So make sure to use warm water, at least room temperature water, to get that plant food to go into solution. And we recommend that you guys fill the vases tonight just halfway full. So when you put them in your car to go home, and if anything moves around, hopefully the water won't tip out, but please try to remember to add water to the rest of your vase when you do get home, because I don't want you to wake up in the morning with wilted flowers. So I'll send you guys all a message to remind you. So that's about halfway. And first we're going to start with our greens. So the greens are already out on your tables for you. The rest of the flowers are up here with me. And I will invite you up to get your flowers one by one for each step. So I'll kind of give you a demonstration first, and then you can come out and pick your flowers. We'll do that step and then move to the next one. But the greens you'll see are already out on the table. So we're going to green our vase. That's always the first step in making the arrangement. And tonight we're using the variegated pittosporum, or variegated pit, which the variegated part just means that they're the white to green leaves, as you can see, and just kind of add a little more color to an arrangement. You can find them where they're just pits, which is the just plain green, but they're really nice to green your vase with because they have a really thick stem and they're really sturdy. So they help you create a nice structure for your entire vase. And a nice little other fact is that these normally bloom in the spring with a really nice fragrant white blossom that sprouts a green fruit that eventually blossoms into this vibrant, bright orange seed. So just a little fun fact. So I'm going to start with one, but the nice thing is you can trim these down fairly easily. That's a little thicker. And the nice thing is you don't just have to use the top. So you can kind of cut these in half and use both parts to green your vase. And we're going to start with the outsides for the greening, and then we'll work our way in with the rest of the flowers. And you can kind of play with the height. And again, play with the different sizes. You probably need about 2 stems. And again, you could always add more greens at the end if you're not happy with the look. And these, if you want to take off a few leaves, just as you're putting them in. And when we're greening our vase, this is the one time that it's actually okay to leave the leaves on, because these kind of have a waxy coat on them, so they don't really create any bacteria when they hit the water. The rest of our flowers, you see, we're going to make sure we definitely do take the leaves off, because once they hit the water, bacteria will form, and that obviously eats away at our flowers and causes them to die more quickly. So I think that looks good. I might add one more. Maybe a little short. That looks pretty good. And you could always spin your vase around so you can kind of see what's going on in all angles. I might add one more. I like a lot of the greens. Again, kind of work on the outside first. I think that looks pretty good. All right, so our next step, we're going to use kale. And if you're making this when Alice's table, if they don't send you kale and you're supposed to pick it up yourself, you will not have this exact looking kale that you probably cook and eat, but you're gonna get one big kale stem with a bigger flower, where you will be taking off some of the lower leaves. And in Alice's demo video that I did watch, you have to open the leaves up a little more, because you're going to really just be putting one big one in the middle. So I'm going to kind of create with what I have, since I don't have a Whole Foods or Trader Joe's where we live. Shocking. I kind of just went with this kale for tonight. And you're going to stick that right in the middle. I think I'm going to cut it down just a little bit more. And the nice thing about kale is it lasts a really long time. So this will probably last the longest in your arrangement. And when you have the kind of more cabbage-like one piece of big kale, it doesn't like to be in direct sunlight. So try to keep this more in the middle of the room, not right next to the window. And if any of the leaves do start to get brown on the kind of underneath side, you can easily just take those off, and you know, the flower might start to get a little bit smaller as you go, but it will still look really pretty in the center of your vase. So the kale part's fairly simple. I should be putting all this in my bucket that I forgot about. All right, so our next step, we're gonna get 2 sunflowers. And we have some pretty orange ones here at the Wegmans in our area. These are the last of the sunflowers they have. They're moving on to Christmas flowers. But sunflowers are really great for fall, and they're perfect for our Thanksgiving arrangements. And what's really nice with sunflowers, this one's still fairly closed, but when you're looking for sunflowers and you have a lot more available to you, you want to get the ones that the petals are still tightly closed around the bud, because that just allows them to take longer to open. So if you get ones that are tight enough, they should last for about up to 2 weeks. And sunflowers like even warmer water than room temperature. So if you want to keep them happy, put them in water that's even warmer than room temperature. And So we're gonna cut these, I'm just gonna use at that height, these to start. And I found when I'm arranging, sometimes I have to cut them a little bit again. I'd rather cut less off and then go back, because sometimes I have a tendency to cut mine a little shorter. Again, use your buckets to dispose of your stems and leaves. Next, we're gonna go with our roses, which these are just the most popular cut flower to use in any arrangement. They're just very romantic, classic, and they kind of go with everything. So first, you're going to want to take off the guard petals, which are the outer petals. They guard the rest of the flower. And the reason to take these off is because you really allow the colors to show through once you take the guard petals off. A lot of times they're not as pretty, a little more wilted or browned. And then to make it easier to work with your rose, to get rid of the leaves and the thorns, we have our shears. So you're going to hold right at the base of the rose gently. And as you're holding that firm, you're going to just pull down like that. And now you're leaf and thorn free. So we're going to use 3 roses. And with roses, a nice little tip, if you're buying them, some of these are a little more, this one I chose is a little more closed, but say if this arrangement, you know, it's Tuesday night, we're making these and you want them to look very open on Thursday, warm your water up a little bit and they'll open faster. But if you want to try to delay the opening of your roses, keep it more at room temperature. So that's just a little fun fact. So that one I might open more. And the same thing, I'm going to take off the guard petals. And a way to see if they're good roses when you're shopping at the store is feel the base of the bud, and if it's more firm, then it's a good rose. If it's too squishy, it's probably past its prime, and these fortunately feel nice and firm. And we're going to strip the roses. Not as smooth that bit. Practice that a little more. And again, have fun where placing them and with the height and how you feel the color is. There's no wrong way to do this. This is how it's ever visually appealing to you. I'm going to use our last one. And try to pull the guard petals off all the way to the base. Again. Oh. And you always want to cut all of your flowers at a 45-degree angle. And that's really important because it increases the surface area of the flower, which obviously gives it more room to soak up the water. And with roses especially, I kind of took my time describing how to prep the rose, but it's best to get them in the water as soon as possible, even once you take it out, putting right in your arrangement, because the base does start to scab up, and that obviously prevents the water from being able to get in there. It's its natural response to protect itself. But so when you are working with roses, once you get the hang of prepping them, try to do it as quickly as possible. All right, now we're going to move on to our spray roses. And I'm going to have you grab 3 of those when you come up after I show you 3 different pieces. And spray roses are really nice for arrangements because they have a lot of laterals, meaning that, you know, there's different layers. So you can cut off individual roses, you can use it as a whole clump. So they really help fill up your arrangement, which is really nice with a lot of really pretty colors. And, you know, we're doing kind of an orangey yellow, but they have them in a variety of colors. So it really helps brighten the arrangement. And so this is the same thing. I'm going to pull off some of these leaves. So again, we don't want any bacteria to be growing in the water. Make these last as long as possible. And then again, like depending on what height you want, like I might do my first one here with the whole bunch and put that more in the middle. So I need a little more height to fit it through here with the kale. And these you might want to do kind of spin your vase around as you're using it. So again, you can see where you need to add. See, this is a really nice one because each piece is really long. So I can use some of those individually. And again, if you guys have any questions as I'm demoing, I'm happy to try to answer or inspire. Now this one I lost a little piece here, so we'll trim that off. And then again, this is a nice lateral piece all on its own. That will fill it up nice. And the spray roses, these again don't need to be in direct sunlight like the kale. So again, this is really a great arrangement for Thanksgiving because most of the time people's tables aren't right next to the window. So it will really help preserve it longer to keep most of this arrangement out of direct sunlight. And spray roses, especially even more than regular roses, need a lot of water. So again, make sure you fill up your vase when you come home, and this might be one that you kind of have to keep refilling within the first few days, or make sure you tell your host of dinner if you take this to them as a gift to watch the water levels. We want this to last as long as possible for them. So our last step, we're going to add the solidago, which is also known as goldenrod. If you get it at its peak, it is normally yellow. But at the store today, this was all that was available, but I'm actually loving the purple color for late fall. But it is also normally known as goldenrod, and it's a great kind of final filler for the arrangement. And it also is a really nice flower that dries out really well. So if you wanted to do something, you know, pretty like that, you could just have a dry arrangement of the solidago. And it normally, like I said, its peak bloom is in August through September, so we're already into November, so we have purple today. And it's mostly native to North America. So again, you're really only gonna need, I'm gonna get one and then two. And again, you're gonna get a lot of lateral pieces with this. So cut, and again, try to take off some of your lower leaves. I think we'll get in the water. And again, you might have to play with the height. When you first put it in like this, I might have to cut back down. But again, I found sometimes I cut things too short and then I can't play with it at all later. Gotta play with your grid a little too. The scale gets a little stiff. Here we go. Good spot. And you can kind of spread it out a little too. I might shorten that a little bit. And again, have fun kind of turning your vase around and seeing where you need to add pieces. And if we have anything left over that you're just desperate to add to your arrangement, don't hesitate to come up. But I see them all looking wonderful, so I think this last little piece is going to be just what you guys need and nothing even more. I think I only needed really those two pieces. I think I might have had bigger bunches than what was demonstrated. All right, so and you can kind of spin it around, see what you think. Like I said, if you did need to add any more greens at the base, if you felt, go ahead and see if a few more will fit, or if you're really happy with your arrangement, like I am with my Shelburne Farms arrangement, you're all set. So I hope you had a wonderful time. Finish up your arrangements and be proud of yourself for making something so pretty that was fairly easy to do and really fun. So thank you guys.